Hey, so let's talk endocrinology, shall we? I think we should. You know you want to. Alright, you have a lot of endocrine glands and endocrine organs. Let's start with your pituitary gland. Now, your pituitary gland is broken up into two lobes. You have your posterior, which is also called your neurohypophysis, and your anterior lobe, which is called your adenohypophysis. Your neurohypophysis, your posterior pituitary gland, is going to secrete antidiuretic hormone, and it's also going to secrete oxytocin. Antidiuretic hormone will promote water conservation in the kidneys. Your oxytocin is, well, half of you are going to secrete oxytocin, the female half. What that's going to do is that's going to stimulate smooth muscle contraction in the uterus and in your mammary glands. And your adenohypophysis, your anterior pituitary gland, is going to secrete something called growth hormone, which promotes growth. It's going to have an anabolic effect, which it's going to have a build-up effect. It is going to have an amino acid uptake increase, and it's going to help with fat metabolism. And that's your pituitary gland. And then you have your thyroid gland. Before we talk about the thyroid gland, let's talk about the follicles of the thyroid gland. That's going to secrete two things, okay? That's going to secrete your thyroxine and your triiodothyronine. Triiodothyronine. Say it. Triiodothyronine. Triiodothyronine. Got it? Great. All right. Your triiodothyronine and your thyroxine are both going to not only increase your basal metabolic rate, but you're going to have a calorogenic effect, which is going, all that means is that it's going to increase your heat production, which is going to increase your oxygen consumption. Those are the follicles of the thyroid gland. Then you have your thyroid gland, which is going to help not only with other things, but it's going to help with your calcium regulation. You have your parafollicular thyroid, which just means not follicles, and you have your parathyroid glands. All right. Let's say there's not enough calcium in your body. Then you are experiencing something called not hyper, hypocalcemia. If you are experiencing hypocalcemia, then what your body is going to do is your parathyroid glands. I'm a college student. I'm not a professor or anything like that, so bear with me. I'm doing this for your benefit and for my study habits, okay? Okay. Your parathyroid glands, they are going to secrete parathyroid hormone. Now what that's going to do is that is going to stimulate your osteoclasts, which is going to break down your bones faster than you're building them up. So you're taking calcium from the bones and putting them into the blood because your body needs it. Other than that, what parathyroid hormone is also going to do is it's going to promote activation of vitamin D in the kidneys, and it's going to stimulate your convoluted tubules to reabsorb calcium back into the blood. And if you're experiencing something called hypercalcemia, too much calcium, what that's going to do, what your body's going to do, is your parafollicular thyroid gland is going to secrete something called calcitonin. Now, what calcitonin is going to do is that is going to inhibit your osteoclasts, and it's going to stimulate your osteoblasts. What that means is that you are now building up your bones faster than you're breaking them down. It also may decrease your appetite, which may decrease your calcium intake, and it's going to stimulate your convoluted tubules to excrete your calcium in your urine. You're getting rid of it, you're getting it out of the body because you've got too much of it. That's hypercalcemia, and that's what your body's going to do with that. That's your thyroid gland. Then you have your adrenal gland. That's broken up into two parts. You have your adrenal cortex and your adrenal medulla. The medulla is the inside, your cortex is the outside, and the adrenal, let's start with the inside. Your medulla, your adrenal medulla, that is going to secrete epinephrine and norepinephrine, which is also called adrenaline and noradrenaline. That's going to help with your fight or flight response. And it's going to increase your blood pressure, which is actually what you want in this moment, by vasoconstriction of the blood vessels. And you're going to direct the blood in the body to your brain and to your muscles, and you're going to take it away from less critical areas. And you're also going to increase your ventilation, your breathing. You're going to increase your ventilation through something called bronchodilation. And then you have your adrenal cortex, the outside, and what that's going to secrete is something called glucocorticoids. A glucocorticoid, like cortisol. And what that's going to do is that's going to promote gluconeogenesis, which means what you're doing is you're actually making glucose in your body from things that aren't glucose, like protein. When I found that out, I was amazed. It was neat. I'm a dork. What are you going to do? Yeah. So, Christmas tree, ADD. Anyways, glucocorticoids, cortisol, gluconeogenesis. You got that. All right. So that was both your medulla and your cortex. All right, so adrenal, done. What next? Pancreas. Let's go to the pancreas. Your pancreas is going to have a dual function, right? So it's going to be not only endocrine, meaning not only is it going to secrete hormones into the bloodstream, but it's also going to have an exocrine function, meaning that it's going to secrete digestive fluids and digestive juices, if you will, into your ducts. All right, let me give you an example. If you have low blood sugar at the moment, not right now, I'm just saying if you are experiencing low blood sugar, what your body is going to do is your A cells of your pancreas are going to secrete something called glucagon. Now, what glucagon does is it increases your glucose synthesis. You make more glucose in your liver. Production. Yeah, glucose production in the liver. And it also is going to increase your glycogen breakdown, and it's going to increase your triglyceride breakdown in your amino acids. Don't listen to that at all. At all. In your adipose connective tissue. Glucagon is going to increase your triglyceride breakdown in your adipose connective tissue. Sorry, I'm getting a little confused. I'm not perfect either. Alright, so what that's going to do is everything that I just said, that's putting glucose into your blood. It is raising your blood glucose concentration. And if that gets too high, you need to bring it back down to the set point. So what you're going to do is your B cells of your pancreas are going to secrete something called insulin. We've all heard of insulin, but what it does is it is going to increase your glucose uptake into your cells, your target cells. It's going to increase your cellular respiration. It's going to increase your glycogen formation, and it's also going to increase your triglyceride formation in your adipose connective tissues. I got it right. Kidneys. Kidneys can also be endocrine. Let's just say you don't have enough oxygen in your blood, which is something called hypoxia. If you are experiencing hypoxia, what your body is going to do is your kidneys are going to secrete something called erythropoietin, which is a hormone that is going to stimulate your hematopoietic stem cells, your blood stem cells, to produce more erythrocytes, to produce more blood, which is going to increase your oxygen carrying capacity. And that's endocrinology, everybody. There's more to it, but this is just everything that I need for my test. This is everything that I needed to study, so I encourage you to find out more. But if you are taking a college-level anatomy and physiology class, then most likely your endocrine exam is going to be on this, and pretty much only this. So enjoy, and have a great day, and have a great Christmas.